Lord, I think this is like the fourth time I've tried to do this video. So I'm at work, as you can tell. So I'm kind of sort of on a lunch break, but not, yes, no. I'm feeling really awkward because if you could see my office, it's like a fishbowl. It's like all windows. And I'm like the first office in the service lane, and my boss's office is literally across from me. But I don't have much bandwidth, and this is really the only time that I can do stuff like this. Um, and some of the videos are they're just going to be done here, and that's okay. That's all right. Um, don't need no $10 million recording studio or anything like that. So yeah, the awkward pause there, and that's okay too. I want these videos raw and unfiltered, not polished and edited and all of that, because it takes the realism out of it. And that's one thing I know that I enjoy when I'm watching other people. I really appreciate the authenticity, and so that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully, it's going across, because I'm not going to edit. I just decided I'm not going to do that. But putting together the itinerary for all of these videos. I thought back, I started thinking back to all the questions that people ask me. I get asked questions a lot. I mean, a lot. I'm not sure why, but I do. But back back when Woody first died, probably about 6 months or so after the fact, I was kind of starting to get back to life a little bit, somewhat, and thinking ahead. And sitting in the garage office one night with beer, of course, in my days with some beers. It's kind of nice. But I was sitting there and I was kind of getting used to my new normal somewhat. I was still grieving, and I still do to this day. Still do. It's just different. But one thing that people would ask me is because I stayed home a lot, and people would ask me if I wanted to, go out. In fact, they were trying to get me to go out. And I really just didn't want to. What I wanted to do was figure out who I was on my own. Waking up on a Saturday and the time is mine. Coming home from work and the time is mine. What am I going to do on my own? Who am I on my own? I was a wife and mother for 35 years. Yeah, 35 years. So who was I by myself? And so I started going out and doing things. The things that I love to do. I love to fish. So I'd take myself fishing. I surf. So I'd go surfing. I always had a guilty pleasure of going out and eating by myself. That was like a thing that I would do, but it was usually either breakfast or lunch. But I'd started going out to dinner by myself. Not to meet people. I didn't want to meet anybody. I wanted to go and experience life on my own. I would walk the beach. I would get on my bike. I would skateboard. I still skateboard, yes. I don't do all the crazy stuff I used to do when I was a kid, but I'll cruise. I got my cruising boards. I cruise. Why not? Why not? You know, God gave me health and a strong body, so why not? I enjoy it. So I learned the things that I would do on my own without anybody. I never planned on being in a relationship or dating. Absolutely not. Dating was just off the list for me. I had planned the rest of my life solo, not to end up in a relationship. And a lot of my friends were actually trying to get me after, like I said, after like 6, 7 months or so. They're like, Dawn, you need to get out. You need to meet somebody. One day. This, and I was just like, no, that's not for me. So, and dating, that was actually something Woody, Woody and I used to talk about. We were so happy that we had such a great marriage, and that we weren't in that dating pool. both of us were like, no, no, no. We saw what was going on in the world and what, or like our single friends, what they were going through dating, and then, the couple would get divorced, and then they'd end up with a boyfriend, girlfriend, and then all of the problems and the hoopla, and of course, our coworkers, like getting stories from that. Just wasn't something that neither one of us was interested in dating. Absolutely not. So that's how I set out. That's what I did. I set out to learn how to live life on my own. What I was comfortable with, what I wanted to do, didn't want to do, what I liked doing. And turned out I was actually pretty content. So that being said, a customer just pulled up. So thanks for watching.